Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea Football Club are the first team in European football to win every single ruddy available trophy, only behind Liverpool in terms of European trophies won in England. And Enzo Maresca's Chelsea has had a better season than previous champions Man City. We've had a better season than Arsenal because, like them, we qualified for the top four, but we won a trophy. And not some pre-season charity shield. No, an actual trophy where we had to travel abroad, play loads of different teams. Thursdays, it hamstrung our league campaign. We are the youngest team in Premier League history. And through this developmental year of teething issues and, learning curves and growing pains, these youngsters and, relatively young green manager showed character. The comeback kings, after going 1-0 down away in Poland in the final against the Real Betis, and this meant everything for them, to come back and absolutely batter them in the second half, 4 goals without reply. And there's such a great story from each goal scorer. Look, before I get into this today, commiserations to Real Betis. It clearly meant a lot to them. They played well into the final. They're a good team, a top 6 team in La Liga. Isco absolutely ran the show in the first half. Antony's had a really good, 6 months there. And, it's not about bantering Real Betis. This would have been their first European trophy. It meant a lot to them, so I don't want to mug them off as opposition. Commiserations to them. They had great support and, unlucky, essentially. You got out-muscled in the second half by players, although they did have additional 2 days rest. But that's all we're going to talk about Real Betis, because it is about Chelsea. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're happy Chelsea have won a major trophy for the first time in 3 years, if you're happy that we are the first team to complete the set of every European trophy, if you are happy that we had a better season than both Arsenal and Man City, simply just drop a like on this video. You can let me know by liking this video. That would be great. Everyone, of course, is welcome to subscribe here at Football Therapy. If you choose to subscribe, please do hit the bell and notifications icon. And yes, I've said it all season, and I'm going to say it for the last time. This is an important trophy. People laugh at us, oh, you're in the Conference League, you shouldn't be in it. The truth is, we haven't won a trophy for this would been third season, a couple of seasons without trophies. We've never done more than that or something. We broke a record in terms of a drought. This was important. I'll say it again. Players playing together throughout a competition, getting to a final, winning the final, lifting the trophy. Reece James's first trophy lift as Chelsea captain. And to cite the situation at Arsenal, they're a very good, well-coached team. They haven't lifted a trophy in half a decade. Declan Rice, last trophy he lifted was at West Ham. This trophy, he really loved that, didn't he? Now he's gone to Arsenal. There's no trophy lifting. Yes, Chelsea don't want to be in the Conference League, probably ever again. But it's okay to be in it once. And if you are in it once, let it be the time that you haven't won a trophy in a few years under the new ownership with a whole new squad, whole new management, whole new hierarchy, whole new ownership, and there's been a transitional, growing painful transition. Let it be then. Let it be when you've got the youngest team in the Premier League's history and they just need to learn what it feels like to win a trophy. Let it be then. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Just let it be now. And we've done it. There's so much to talk about regarding the actual game, and we're going to get into that now. Citing SofaScore, so 4-2-3-1 from Manuel Pellegrini, who has been referenced by Maresca as his footballing dad, playing a very narrow 4-2-3-1 that caused us issues. We played our sort of 4-2-3-1 with Gusto inverting, which was nothing short of a disaster. And indeed, in that first half, if we look here, Yeah, this is they had 7 shots to our 4, but more notably they had 0.57 xG to our 0.10. It was a disaster. It wasn't a disaster first half because we could knock the ball around a little bit at times, but you could see a big glaring weakness with Malo Gusto inverting into the midfield. Ezazuli, their left winger, he was constantly free, and Isco was the best player on the pitch in the first half, knocking it about. Of course, Isco's an amazing player. He's 33 now, but he's not completely washed at 33, says the 36-year-old. And he's just been called up to the Spain national team again, which is great for him. Congratulations to him. He's a great player. And he had a beautiful pass to play in the goal scorer. Vacated space, of course, in Gusto's absence. And they score a good goal. It is a good goal. They sort of are worthy of that goal in the first half. And like I said, Isco, I thought, was magnificent in that first half. Defensively, creatively, and just generally offensively, I thought he was great, as you'd expect. But it was a huge problem. It was a huge problem with Gusto because he was, of course, inverting into the sort of midfield. And like this sort of Enzo, Palmer, Caicedo ratings, they all sort of reflect from the second half. And if you look at it's essentially Reece James was important off the bench as Chelsea's captain and shoring up that right flank, even though he did too invert. Jadon Sancho obviously coming on for Pedro Neto. And I was saying on my halftime Instagram live, bring on Sancho because we've got the ball. Sancho's got no pace, but Sancho is a good player. And he's a good finisher. That's why his teammates and indeed many Chelsea fans are always saying, score. So, shoot, rather. So he makes the halftime change. He brings on Reece James and for Gusto. And should we talk about Gusto briefly? He's had a bad season. He is a good footballer. Maresca's obviously seen something in him where he thinks he can play on that inside pocket. He had so many chances to score in the sort of right side 10 position. He still hasn't scored for Chelsea in 2 years. He was a good signing. He is a good signing because he's a good player. He's a good right back. He's not good at whatever Maresca wants him to do. We've had an entire season to evaluate that. He was good under Pochettino as a conventional up and down, and he's good at putting crosses in. We've literally not put him in a position to put crosses in. It's not worked. If we are going to continue playing Maresca ball, and there's no reason why we shouldn't, we've won a trophy and qualified top 4. I'd much rather an Champong starting to learn that role and to rotate with Reece James and possibly sell Gusto, who, by the way, Gusto does, since coming to Chelsea, his profile's raised, his value's raised, even now. Didn't he get called up to the France first team? Possibly, but like his, for a young player, his value, his profile, his recognition is still very, very, very high. So of course we're going to talk about player performances in just a moment, but let's walk you through what happened. Of course, the goal was in the 9th minute, and we were really dominant in the opening 9 minutes until that goal, and then Isco grew in confidence, and we sort of moved it around a little bit, but we were all saying the same thing. Second half, dominant, and look, this is good finishing. 4 goals from an XG of 1.21. Well, those considered 4 big chances. 7 shots to their 6, so they were sort of hitting some shots, but Chelsea was so dominant in that second half. Of course, the big original thing was Reece James coming on. They made a couple of changes. And then Sancho comes on for Pedro Neto. And then there's, of course, the equaliser. Cole Palmer is playing in a beautiful assist to Enzo Fernandez in the 65th minute. We'll talk about Enzo in a moment. And then just 5 minutes later, the comeback is complete. Again, inspired by Chelsea's star boy, Cole Palmer. 2 assists in the European Cup final for Chelsea. Sticking it on Jackson. I'll say his head. He chested it in, but it was an Enzo Fernandez header. And then Jadon Sancho whipping one into the top corner from the left wing position, taking his shirt off. We'll talk about him in a moment as well. And then the icing, or the cherry, as Martin Tyler used to say, the cherry on the icing, on the cake, Enzo Fernandez, who was a goal scorer, assisting Moises Caicedo, who did benefit a little bit off a deflection, scoring Chelsea's 4th in stoppage time. The boys run on. I'm going to rewatch the trophy lift in just a moment. I just wanted to record as soon as the full time whistle came out. I was just so gassed, so happy for Chelsea, for all the players. So let's talk about the player performances then. I was one of these people that said play your first team, but of course we knew Jorgensen was going to play. Let's have it right. Gusto was a mistake. He was a mistake. It should have been Reece James, or even, in hindsight, a Josh Achampong, but that was remedied by Maresca. Fine, Chalobah, good player. Badiashile was a weird one, but as you can see, SofaScore's given him our highest rated player. He is quite fast. He can pass quite well. Probably a method to the madness. But, the two players who were put up for media that were benched in Levi Colwill and Reece James, they did both come on. So, Badiashile probably did fine. And then, of course, those two guys come on, sure us up. The two superstar Galactico midfielders, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Caicedo, such an amazing player. Featured in every Premier League game for us this season, all the big games as well out of the Premier League. Just an absolute monster. Again, look at his heat map, just completely dominating the middle of the park. Majority of his long balls completed, foreground duels, won all his aerial duels. Just an absolute incredible player. Everyone's gassed he got his goal. And Neto, I think both wingers frustrated me. I think the Noni left winger experiment should end now. He had a couple of good games when he was bringing it inside. To his credit, it was tricky because Betis were playing a really narrow block, so usually where he was inverting as this right winger playing on the left, that same opportunity wasn't afforded to him. But Neto was alright. Noni was a bit disappointing. Sancho was good, and he probably should have had another goal. He scored an absolute belter himself, but he probably should have had another goal because there was that moment where Jackson was running through and he just needed to square it to Sancho to score, but he hits a heavy touch and passes it to Adrian, the opposition goalkeeper. We'll end on Cole in just a moment, but Nico Jackson scores a goal, and yes, it was a scrappy goal off the chest, but it's the goal that puts us ahead 2-1. It's an important goal. And he did frustrate. He had that horrible touch. He made some poor decisions. But the thing is with Nico Jackson, he does a lot right. And we will say this. You'll see the tacticians talk about this. But he frustrates because he does dumb stuff like that touch, like few poor passes and poor finishing. Really, really frustrating for a striker. But tactically, he's nigh on perfect in terms of knowing what he wants to do. And I think maybe even a bigger, more important point, he makes Cole Palmer better. Of course, Cole got a great... Cole always knows where he is. They always know where each other is. Jackson moves because he knows either Cole's going to find me, or by making this movement and occupying this space, Cole's going to be able to find someone else. Cole Palmer loves playing with Nicholas Jackson. He gets frustrated with him because we all do, and he does that idiotic stuff. But I don't want to lose Jackson. I want him to be Chelsea's second choice striker, and who knows if he can get better, Chelsea's first choice striker again one day. I don't want to lose him, especially because he makes Cole Palmer better. I think he's a really, he's a really good player to have for Chelsea. And Cole Palmer is back, baby. I don't know why he got booked for kicking the ball out. That was very peculiar. But 2 assists. Incredible. What else did he get? 84% pass accuracy, 2 key passes. He completed 100% of his crosses. Won the majority of his ground duels. Had a couple of shots on target as well. And just ball out, basically. We put him in positions sometimes where he's trying to win headers and second balls, which because he's tall he goes for, but it's not his game, is it? He's a creative playmaker. He's the first player in a European final to get 2 assists since Marcelo against Liverpool, apparently. I know it's the Conference League and that was the Champions League. But still, it's great. It's great. It's great. Guys, this is a really important win for Chelsea. Reece James's first trophy lift as captain. Maresca's first major trophy. And of course, he won a European final. It's great. All of it's great. It's the first trophy in the Clear Lake Bowley era. It's late. Of course it's late. But it's here. And it's the beginning, hopefully, of something special with this young team to get better. There'll be strikers, there'll be midfielders, wingers going, oh, Chelsea just battered Real Betis. They got Champions League. I'm going to sign for them. Drop a like if you're feeling good. Thank you as always for supporting me here on the channel. There'll be daily content here, always, with Chelsea news, following the big stories. Thank you so much for your support. We're back, baby. Champions of Europe, another trophy. Let's go. This is Chelsea.